As an author, it's incredibly important that we have power and control over our author presence on Amazon, which is why Amazon has allowed us access to Author Central. Author Central is where we can put our biography and maintain our profile. We can connect a blog if we want to. We can kind of oversee what we're doing inside of our books. So we're going to take a look at how to be using this today and really how to leverage this inside of our author platform. So with that in mind, you are going to go over to author.amazon.com. Now, it's important to note that when it comes to this, you have to have a book out and published in the world first. So before you can set up your Author Central account, you do have to have a book that can be connected to it already out in the world. So you may have to wait until the book is listed and theirs before you can do this. But once you have it, then you have the ability to control a lot of different things. So you can kind of see when you first go into your Author Central account, you do see some of your books. You can see your books, your sales ranking, you can see reviews, things like that. Over to the right side, you've got your author pages, which, by the way, you can see what it looks like in different countries. So if you click on this little tab here, you can see the US-based Amazon, UK, all the different countries there, and you can visually see what that looks like to people who are going to be looking at that. Scrolling down on the page, you can see there's some extra stuff there as well as feedback things. You are going to want to focus on your profile. You can focus on your books and your reports if you want, but we're going to take a look at our profile right now. So with this in mind, you want to make sure you've got your author photo here. So this is going to be the thing that goes on the inside of your books. It's going to be that main photo from your website. This is the thing on your social media accounts. And I highly recommend keeping this recognizable and consistent to your brand. So when you have a new author photo, you need to make sure that, one, it's not a selfie. If you need to take it by yourself, I understand, but you've got to make it look like it's not a selfie. It does need to look like it's a professional, at least influenced photo. So you can have somebody take it on your phone. You can set up your phone and take it by yourself. You can set up a camera and take it by yourself, or you can have professional photos taken, but it does need to be professional, not blurry, not pixelated, not a selfie, and not weirdly edited. Please do not make things edited with like artisty type things. We don't do that here. We want to make sure we've got your professional looking photo here. So you pop that in here and you keep it consistent across the board. Your website, your social medias, your Amazon page, all the buy pages, all the things should have that recognizable thing because people understand what that photo is and immediately attribute it to you. Now below that, you do have access to your biography. So you want to make sure you're putting a good, strong biography in here. In fact, it's time for me to update mine because this is my old biography and I have done a lot of things since this biography was written. So I'm actually going to be changing that when we're done with this conversation. And you can just go in and you can edit it. You can also preview your bio, all the things that you need. Now, I highly recommend as you're creating your author bio, and this will be another video on the channel as well, that you are remembering that it's not actually about you. It's about how you can serve your audience. So we don't want to hear about your cats. We don't want to hear about your kids. We don't want to hear about where you live necessarily. You might need that location-based thing. But we want to talk about what you write, why you do the things that you do, and how you can be meaningful to those people. So we'll keep that in mind with an upcoming video. If you want to hear more on biographies, which is something I have taught how to professionally write for about a decade now, go ahead and drop that comment down below and we'll get that in an upcoming video for you. And I might be able to bump up the timeline just a little bit. So from there, you can also add a biography in a new language. So if you are going to have things on, different sites, if you're going to be in the UK, if you're going to be over in France, if you're going to be in Germany, you may want things translated into that different language so that people can understand it if you have a big presence there. Is this entirely important if you do not have a large following there? No, you may not need to pay somebody to translate your biography into other languages, but if you do have a strong presence, I have a friend who was huge in China, like millions and millions of sales. She would do well to have it translated into Chinese. So you just want to keep that in mind as you are going here, and you can always update that as you go. Looking over at the right side of the page, you're going to see author page. This is how it looks for different readers. So you have the ability, once again, to go in there and check to see what it looks like in different countries. Below that, you've got your author page URL. So this is where people are going to be able to click the direct link that you can send out to people. This is where you can put things linked to your website, to your social media, all those things to see the entirety of the books that you have written. Below that, you can add a blog feed to this. Now, this is only something you should do if you regularly maintain your blog. There was a time when I was posting at least once or twice a week, and that meant I had updated things on my page to then show on my feed. When I stopped doing that in favor of other things, it became one of those things on my author page where it would say I didn't post anything for a month or for 5 months or for a year or for whatever. So when you go to an author's page and you see that they haven't updated anything in 2 years, that tells you that that author is not going to be interactive. They're not going to be engaging. Even if they are engaging on social media, that's not linked to your Amazon page. So if you do not regularly maintain your blog, do not link it here. Don't do it. Use your biography to tell people where they can find you on social media. At the very end of it or at the beginning, this is where you're telling people how to contact you. So if you have a regularly maintained blog where you add articles and things, that's the place to put your feed right in there. And then you can remove that if it's not going to be something that you're going to actively be doing. Below that, you have access to photos and videos. So you can upload media. And you can kind of see when I started to put all these things here, we're going to go ahead and click on all media because you're going to see that I have multiple types of content here. And I actually need to update it because it's been a hot minute. And some of these things might not be as relevant, or I might have more relevant, more recent content that I can be putting out there. So this is something I recommend that you pay attention to every year or so. If you want to do it more than that, that's fine. If you've got a lot of cool things that you can just constantly be updating it with, by all means, do that. You only are allowed a certain number of images and photos that you can be putting on here. So you do not want to overkill on this, but you do want to make sure that you have some really cool, relevant things. So I'm kind of seeing how some of these are available for updates. So I can do some things to kind of change what I'm going to be doing here, add some things, take some things away. I can show them even more of those things because apparently I've got 32 of them here. But you can kind of see I've got really cool photos, but they're my older book covers. My book covers have been updated, so it's now time for me to update these things. And I can see some of these videos were cool at some point, but I have definitely leveled up from then. And so now it's time for me to go ahead and redo a lot of this stuff. Now, these are shown on my author page so that when people go to look at me, they have the ability to see all of these things. So let's go back real quick and let's actually take a look at, because I think, let me see if it's the actual page for you. Oh, it did. Beautiful. So with that in mind, all the information you put on your Author Central now goes on your author page. You can see my biography photo, which it's time for me to update because I have updated that photo. You cannot control your books. Your books are here, and they list them in whatever order they want. But then you can see author updates. Now, that section with author updates is where you're also going to see things like your blog posts. So you can see I've got book trailers there. I've got my photos there. You can click through some of my videos, my old school videos. It's time to update a lot of this stuff for me because I have changed as an author over my 5-year career. And now is the time for me to be updating these things. And from there, you have the ability to kind of change what you want focused on your Author Central page or on your author page from your Author Central account. Now going back to, oh dear, I moved my page. Going back over to my Author Central, of course, we have the ability to go back to our home, which will then allow us to go to our profile, our books, our reports, and our marketing, things that we could potentially be using. Anything else that you need, you can go up to that top right-hand corner. You can click on your name. That little drop-down will have email preferences and the ability to sign out. If you need further help with that, they've got that help tab. And then, of course, they've got information at the bottom as well if you need any of their contact or terms of use. That is down on the bottom for you to be able to level up what you are doing and how you are creating on your Author Central. So remember, as we are doing this, we are keeping in mind we want relevant, professional looking, not necessarily professional, but professional looking author photos. We want to update our biographies because as we do more, our biographies can and should change. Again, if you want a tutorial on how to write a really effective author bio, go ahead and let me know. Mine has changed and I didn't change it on my Author Central. This is actually what I'm doing today. And then you have the ability to update photos and videos and things that you're putting on there. Especially if you are working on TikToks and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, this is an incredibly relevant thing to be adding to your Author Central. But keep in mind, you do not have the ability to use music from other platforms. So if you have a TikTok and you want to put it on your Author Central, that's great. It cannot include music from TikTok because you don't have the licensing for it and you can get sued for that. Same goes for Instagram, but if you try to download it from Instagram, they're going to strip the music. So talking only, or you can license music to then use inside of that video. Do not put anything with a watermark. People don't like seeing those watermarks. They know what you've done. So save that video first, then put it over on your Author Central. But I highly recommend implementing a strategic move with using those TikToks. Vertical short form content is going to do really well for you. So I'm going to go through and update my Author Central. By the time you see this, it will be updated. There's going to be lots of cool new things on it. Go check out, see what I'm doing so that you can get some ideas too. Go ahead and link your blog if you keep it consistently updated. Otherwise, we're going to skip that. And then we want to make sure that we are using things that are going to draw people in and really inform them what our books are going to be about. So this is a great opportunity for you to read your first chapter or your first couple of pages. This is a really good opportunity for you to show you at a book signing. This is a really good opportunity for you to show off when you are speaking at different events on stages and at libraries and at schools and things like that to show that you are a highly engaged person. And of course, we use our bio to also drive people to our other social media so that we can engage. Give those calls to action. Tell them what you want them to do. Join your free newsletter, join your social media, whatever it happens to be, and you are going to use that to actively get people to engage with you. Questions or comments on using Author Central, go ahead and drop them down below. And more author marketing tips to come, so hit that subscribe and notification bell because every single day I'm dropping brand new videos to help you level up in the writing world, in the publishing world, and in the reading world. Any guest stars you would like to see on the show, let me know down below, and I'll see you in the next episode.